Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arm Wrestling tonight. This is Hollywood Connelly with the double bias of cities and the contract, a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. Appearing on camera right this minute, the man to my left could be to your right, depending on what side of the screen you're looking at. It is the Master of Disaster, the King of Sting, the Count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the Ultimate Male. It is your friend and mine. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year Award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is none other than Dave Stockbridge.
Hollywood Matt Connelly. What a joy to be with you once again on Arm Wrestling tonight. You've been a very busy man on the microphone already today. I know, talking to some of the best up and coming talent from around the world, as always, on the Hollywood Matt Connelly podcast. But tonight we have ourselves a very, very special guest. He is unbeaten in New Zealand now for this will be the 12th year, I believe. Is that correct? 12 years this year?
13, I think this will be 14th this year.
This is
Wow.
14 years in 20. That's now we're into our second decade of being undefeated in New Zealand. The man on screen, he was our very first AWE Intercontinental Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Maateiwarangi, the Beast, Heta-Morris! Well, we have ourselves a fantastic event this Sunday. That is Last Man Standing, and the man on screen right now is a huge part of that. He, in many people's eyes, is one of the favorites to walk away with all of the chocolates, all the $7,500 that will be up for grabs in this arm wrestling extravaganza. And I have to ask the Beast, how are you feeling coming into this 1 hour orgy of arm wrestling?
I love it. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling I feel prepared. Rather than the last two times I went to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and in the last couple of times, like, it has been some things that have maybe held you back from your best performance in retrospect.
Oh no, I actually won. I won.
You won over the top.
Oh, well, you won over the top. I mean, for your AWE, yeah, of course.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, preparation was good. For my match I had with Brett, but there are a few things that sort of happened like a few days before that I don't even want to bring it up because it's not an excuse, but I had a pulled muscle in my neck and in my lower back, and I did not think that would play a part in it. And it did when my music came on. I went to go walk out, and there was like a couple thousand people standing there staring at us. My legs just felt like jelly. I was like, oh man.
The room audibly gasped. Did you feel that in the moment? Like when you, I had the benefit of standing there in the middle of it, and when you walked out, the room literally collectively gasped. Like it was like a visceral reaction to seeing you walking onto the stage. Essentially, is that something you picked up in that moment? Could you feel that happening?
That's exactly why the legs went jelly, man. As soon as I walked out, I couldn't look at anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to focus on the cage. Just get to the cage. Don't trip up. Don't fall over. Just, yeah. But it was like I could definitely, I could feel the crowd's eyes there, and I think that needs to be a part of the training. To be honest,
Yeah. I know that with the UFC, they do actually practice walkouts. Like they'll play music, they'll get somebody to introduce them and get them to walk in with their cornerman and get the position in the cage.
I think that would be a good thing to do. A walkout with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you do see that with the fighters. They have the benefit of that support right there and next to them. Their nearest and dearest, their team. around them. But in a solitary sport like arm wrestling, it's a little bit harder. Like, and I guess especially when you're competing internationally, it's not like you've got a crew from your club there in your corner to help. It's very much an individual pursuit, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah. I mean,
and it's a huge adrenaline dump as you come into a room like that. And so this particular event was at the Adelaide Oval. But do you feel that being part of that big occasion and being the centre of attention like you were there kept you in good stead when it came to coming back for Over the Top, which was also a really big venue and a big production, a huge setup by Phil and the crew there. Did you feel like you were a bit better prepared walking into that environment, having had this experience at AWE?
Well, I flew over the morning of the comp. I wasn't going to compete.
So tell us about that. What happened? How did all of that come about?
Accidentally won the tournament.
Accidentally.
I was convinced at 3:00 in the morning to get a ticket, and we ended up purchasing a ticket at 3 in the morning, and I got about an hour's sleep, drove up to the Auckland airport, flew over, and walked into a massive room full of arm wrestlers, and I'm like, man, what am I doing here? So my training that I did that week of Over the Top was definitely not a training session I would ever do prepping for a comp, but it was something that had crossed my mind previously of doing like an 80% workout. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this was 100% workout. I did like 3 bench days, 2 arm wrestling accessory days, and then that Saturday I ended up doing arm wrestling training.
Huh.
So probably not to that extent, but I think to a certain level, it could be ideal for certain people.
Well, Todd Hutchins talks about how powerlifters tend to train really hard up to it, and when they're essentially preparing for a lift, they're working towards their max lift pretty much straight away. Like they're not warming up, and then getting to it. So was it maybe a similar philosophy there, where you're bang there already at a really high level, and so you were just able to push through with it?
I think so. I think it was more that I think that pretty much sums it up, man. Is that the muscles were activated, the joints were ready to go. It was. It actually took a lot for me to go over, because I knew, I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel ready at all. So I had to dig deep, and what I ended up doing was I had to let go of my self expectations. I had to let go of the ego. I had to remember why am I arm wrestling? Why do I love arm wrestling? And when I stripped myself of all of that, I easily made the decision to over.
Wow. It's, I think people don't realize that sometimes when you're the biggest man in the room, so comes the greatest expectations, and they're not just expectations that everybody else has, but it's the expectations that you put on yourself. And if the biggest man comes into the room and doesn't perform, then that can really eat away at the ego. But it's so for a lot of people, they might be surprised to hear you talking that way, but in understanding how much pressure high performing athletes put on themselves, I think it's all the harder when you are that guy, when you are the biggest and strongest, and you're trying to show the world that you're going to translate all of that power onto the table. And if you can't, or you get beaten by a smaller man, that there's really it's very difficult for you to ever be perceived to be the underdog because of your sheer physicality.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I had to strip myself of. A lot of the, I guess it is self-expectations because you shouldn't really care what others think, right?
It's hard not to, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
almost to the extent that can be the limitation for so many. So how were you able to overcome that? Was that just a prayerful consideration, or is this some techniques you've been working on there?
How did I manage to get to that point?
Yeah.
I sat down and spoke to my grandmother who's passed on. But yeah, I asked her. And I said, oh, I sat there and I said, well, what should I do? What should I do now? And then as soon as I said that, my front gate closed. My mum walked in. And I said to her, I said, oh, hey, mum. So her mum was the one I was connected with, who's a special age. And so I said to her, what should I do? What should I do? And then I heard my front gate closed, and then my mum walks in. I was like, oh, hey, mum. And I told her the situation I'm in, and she just looked at me and she said, oh, well, what time am I taking to the airport? So, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. We've just watching that moment where you won the event, and there was no one cheering harder for you than Devin Larratt. How did that feel?
I actually didn't know until I was watching the videos. I couldn't hear anything. I was in disbelief, man. I'm like standing there looking around, and I'm just like, what? Like I'd only just had like an hour, 2 hours sleep. So, yeah. It was quite surreal, to be honest.
We've got a question in here from Procrastinator, who I believe is Leroy from our club here in Adelaide. He says, question for the Beast. How would you rank the main competitors by threat level for the upcoming King of the Table Last Man Standing event, with number one being the biggest threat?
I'm going to have to say it's going to be Brett.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Brett's name keeps coming up at the top of the list because that endurance factor.
Brett is Brett is short for Brick. He's strong, man. He's a good fellow. I love Brett. Yeah, I went over to Melbourne and caught up with him, and he had taken like a long time off arm wrestling, man, and I got up with him. I was like, what the, like, whoa, 3 months off arm wrestling and you've still got this kind of power. What the hell? Yeah, but I'm gonna have to go with Brett, and then Mario and Bowen can fight for number two.
And as being a different style of event, is there a different type of preparation that you put in for this?
No, not really, because I do King of the Table with my club every training. So, yeah.
So every week's a preparation.
Yeah. Does
it go for an hour?
No, because by the time the rest of the club is tired, we're putting bands around everyone and bands and. Yeah.
Josh Barker says that he believes he is the biggest threat for Maateiwarangi at the event.
You'll threat yourself, man. Is he coming?
Yeah,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's the interesting thing is because of Josh's style, he has a shot at winning. Like he has a flash pin press, and he gets it on heavyweights all the time. And yeah, I mean he's a young, fit guy, so the endurance you would think would be on his side, especially if he can get a whole bunch of flash pins.
Yeah, he's just skin, bone, and muscle. That kid.
It's true. Oh, okay. Procrastinator is not Leroy. It's just a random fan. Okay, I thought it was, but that's okay. You are still in my mind. You'll always be Leroy.
So tell us a little bit about your club and how that's growing, and maybe some of the potential talent that's coming out of your part of the world now.
Yeah, my club's been around for, well, the day I started arm wrestling. But I've been through so many different generations of arm wrestlers in my club. I've had like, I'm gonna say 4 different waves. And the last wave and this wave, they sort of merged together. But yeah, I mean, well, we've got Ash, the women's
Yep.
champ in our club, so that didn't really take her too long to skyrocket.
No, you got like the strongest guy and the strongest girl at the same club. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Both best record holders too.
Yeah.
But no, we actually got a few kids in our club that have pretty big potential. There was a guy that was training with us, and he was about 17 and about the same height and size as me, and he's it's a little bit scary, but he's a powerlifter as well, and I'm hoping come back and pursue his arm wrestling career. And my son is in our club, and he's eager. He's always, he's wanting to get to the top. Yeah, we've got a few potentials that will be heading over to arm wrestle Savage Hitters in March. Yeah. We got a club wars against them.
Fantastic. Very cool.
So what is the name of your club and whereabouts if people want to come along and try arm wrestling?
Brothers in Arms, and we're in Hamilton in central North Island.
Oh, great. And so if they just message a Facebook page or something like that and they can get the details.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, message into Brothers in Arms, Arm Wrestling Waikato. Yeah.
Perfect.
Looking for new people and new people to break into our sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
And beyond Last Man Standing, do you have any other plans for 2026 yet?
Other than arm wrestling itself, there's a few things that will be coming out this year that's quite exciting. A few things I've been working on the last 2 years.
Are these are these the things that we'd spoken about previously that are coming to that the public will get to know a little bit more about? Very exciting because this is something you've had to keep to yourself by and large.
I can sort of touch on it. I just can't.
Okay.
I can't say the name of it. So this year there'll be two TV series that'll be on that will be coming out, and one of the biggest things is what are they called? The Xbox and PlayStation game.
Yes.
Yes. So it's a well-known game. Once we get the AOK to release it, So that's something.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And how have you felt turning your attention to the arts, to theatre? Like, has it been an easy transition for you? Because have you had any experience in doing that type of thing before?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And was there any training or anything you needed to do for that?
For like most actors, they go to like performing arts and stuff like that. But no, I think a lot of like of the characters I play in these two TV series, more lived experience, and then this character on the game is again lived experiences, but at a higher level. I think most of it is lived experiences, but moving forward with that that craft, I think some training would be ideal. because there's some big things coming to New Zealand this year for a few things.
And I understand a couple of these things have been in New Zealand, but the others been overseas. So you've had to do it over the last year or so. You've had to do a lot of travel.
I think like I've always been grateful for traveling the world with arm wrestling. You know what I mean? But I never thought I could say I was traveling the world to work. You know? Yes. So it's been an interesting. Well, yeah, it's been interesting living.
And how do you balance all of that off with family life? Because you've got a young family as well, several kids at home. It's amongst arm wrestling, acting, family life, work. You're at work at the moment. So you know, how do you keep on top of all of these things?
Well, I ring up my mum. Yeah,
she just appears at the gate at critical moments.
But no, my mother helps me out quite a bit, especially with like because I've only just had my kid in my care for like the last year, so I'm just learning how to be a father as well. Yeah, and I think my family understands that with my lifestyle and having kids, it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah, because you're a relatively young man, but you've also got a young family, and I think teenagers as well. A couple of teenagers in the mix now.
Yeah. My boy is 15 and my girl is 13.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
And are you having a bit of that old line, young line dynamic with your eldest boy as well? Now he's getting on the table. Is he starting to see like opportunities where he can maybe get it on dad at some stage in the future? He's you kind of get that sense that your son's always looking to take you out.
He was up here a couple of years ago for a holiday. I said to Mel, "You're gonna have to come up with a nickname one day." And he was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" I said, "Oh, you know, like people call me the Beast." And he was like, "Oh yeah." And he sat there for a little bit, and he turned around, looked at me, and he was like, "I'm gonna be called the Beast Slayer." And I looked at him and I was like, "Fucking what?" And I said, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "Fuck, you better live up to that name, then, boy." And then we changed it up. He's innocent as even though he said that, I don't think he understood what it meant. I hope he didn't.
But we are going to get him an AWE shirt with Slayer on the back now. That's
Yeah.
That is great. That's awesome.
It's been cool, and I think he loves it because every day, like I walk past him, grab his hand, and we'll have a little thing. We got a table out the back, so I mean,
so cool.
he's the luckiest person I believe to, as an arm wrestler in New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. We see that with Devon's kids as well, that second generation coming through, and what a huge advantage it is, because it's not just like that physically understanding what to do and how to move on the table and all the intricacies that are involved in the technical of arm wrestling, but it's also that mindset of a champion and seeing somebody sacrifice in order to be at the top of their sport and do those uncomfortable things every day that serves as that example to a young star rising through. It's a very, very, like you say, he's very, very fortunate. It's very lucky to have such an example in close proximity. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing for you to be able to pass on to your son as well.
Well, one of my favorite sayings there, and I've said this multiple times, and I've said, you got to do things others aren't willing to do to get to places others aren't going to get to. You got to do things like, fuck, what's the time? I'm in the gym now. I'll come into the gym at 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah. And just to put this into perspective, it is like 10 o'clock at night right now in New Zealand as we're speaking, and there is nobody else in that gym. that's the reality. You are there, and I'm sure you'll be jumping straight back into it as soon as we get off the line. But we've really seen you in some epic battles over the last few years. You've been there since the very first AWE event. You came over and jumped in. It was kind of similar in that it was a last moment kind of thing. Like it was I think the week before, and Ryan's went through a few opponents.
Was it who was supposed to go first? It was Todd, eh?
No, it was
Chance.
from Florida.
Chance Shaw.
Chance Shaw, yeah. So it was Chance, because that was originally the catalyst for the event, because Ryan had this back-to-back match to do with Chance, and they were going to look to do that, and at the same time, Matt and I were looking to do something here as part of that Apex Sports Fest, and so we thought, well, let's just do something together, and let's bring together our minds and see what we can do here, and then. And then there was Todd, Michael Todd, in the mix at one point, and was it Michael Todd or was that AWE?
Yeah,
that was AWE 2, maybe.
No, that was the first one.
That was the first one as well, was it? Yeah. So Michael Todd, and then there was some hiccups
Michael
there.
Todd.
And then there was
Todd Hutchins.
Well, we reached out to John Brasing as well.
Michael Todd.
It was Michael Todd. Oh. Was that the one where? Oh, sure. I thought it was Todd. Yeah, no, because I had messaged Bowen when Chance thinged out, and I said to Bowen, I said, "Fuck, I'll jump over, bro." And then he was like, "Oh, we've got some other people lined up." And I was like, "Okay." He went through them, and then I think it was a Thursday. It was a Thursday. And then he rings me and he was like, "Oh, well, if you're keen." I was like, "What?" Yeah, I was like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "All right, then, let's do it."
And we were forever grateful, because that was an epic pull too. Like, that was a great match. That was a real war between yourself and Ryan. And so as a headliner, that was just a spectacular match up, and really kicked off AWE as something special, and gave us the enthusiasm and motivation to continue on with this AWE concept. And 4 years later, we're back. We're here again, and back in Adelaide, and for a whole new installment. And we're so pleased to, I guess, over that 4-year period, to enjoyed such a great relationship with you, and to see you attend our events, perform so admirably at all of our events. You always give it your full heart and soul. Win, lose or draw, there's one thing that's for sure: you're leaving it all on the table, and always put on a massive show. And you've been a real mainstay. You've probably had more AWE appearances than any other athlete.
Appreciate it, man. I love it. I love our sport. I love you guys.
We love you, and this was another one. Like, it's always just such a you give everything 100%, and I think that's what people absolutely love, and it's what keeps them coming back to AWE events, but also just wanting to follow your progression as you perform around the world. And it's one of those features of you as an athlete that we see you just absolutely put it on every single time, and everybody knows every time you get on the table, it is going to be a show.
Yeah.
Jeez. I always get caught up watching the video. The guests, I see them like drift off halfway through a sentence because they're watching it as well.
Yeah. It was unreal, man. I would love to have another match with Todd. Just purely to feel that bloody side pressure, man. Like, it's there's a hook, there's a press, there's a top roll, but and just to feel the way that Todd disables your arm. Like, he'll give you what you want, and then even though you've got it, your arm's still going.
That's crazy.
It really is crazy, isn't it? You know, and when you see, you know, Todd, his physicality, like it's not like he's got, you know, he's not like a Brett Coots type of character. He's quite unassuming, but he's just got all the strength in the areas that matter, and he really makes everybody play to his style, doesn't he? He really draws you into doing what he needs you to do for him to have what he requires in order to get that advantage, so he can really sink that side pressure in. It yeah, and it wasn't long after this event that we had the schemer bill incident, and and arm wrestling changed forever. This was the pre-exclusive contracts that it was only a matter of days later that arm wrestling changed forever. So, just I mean, you held on so much. Was this even though you didn't walk away with the victory, was this something that kind of spurred you on to feel like, look, I am elite. I've really got something here. I'm definitely world class. I can push through here. I can definitely, you know, play amongst the best.
I think, like, for me, like, this match here, just I gave it everything, and it did something. You know what I mean? I gave something and it did something, and that's, for me, that was I'm happy I was able to do something. You know, even though
Oh man, everyone had said when we put that match together, like, oh, Todd's just gonna, you know, run through him or whatever. And it was like, you put up such a insane fight. It was bloody close, and I've never seen somebody sweat as much as Todd Hutchings sweated that night. I was in awe. He was standing in front of us because we were at the commentary desk, and it was like he was in a shower. It was literally just pouring off of him. So yeah, he had to work very hard for the wins that night.
Well,
that made that, like, that match. Every match makes me, you know, like, want to carry on. And nothing's ever going to stray me away from it. But this match just, it made me feel special, man. Like, I got to arm wrestle Todd Hutchings. You know what I mean? Like, being given a match against someone like him is, I feel special for that.
Now, I understand with your powerlifting, you know, people can tap into your huge well of knowledge and experience when it comes to powerlifting, bench press in particular, and so they can reach out to you, and you can coach them and train them regardless of where they might be around the world. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how does all of that work?
Yeah. So I'm currently we're currently building the e-commerce side, and everything's just getting built now. But if people want to jump on board, they just message me through my platforms.
Beautiful.
And I will, you know, I'll manually direct them and stuff until my site is up and running. But yeah, we're currently building up programs and trying to give everyone else a different perspective on strength.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot that people can learn, and it's the wonderful thing is that, you know, you do have that skill set when it comes to bench press, and obviously a very powerful human being, but you have this ability to also translate that success and that knowledge into other areas, whether it's the arm wrestling table, onto the silver screen, so you're taking the success that you've kind of built from out of your life in the gym into now all of these other areas, including family life, and it's absolutely wonderful to see you enjoying success through all of those areas of your life, and it's a wonderful thing to see from afar. We're always cheering for you from over the pond, mate, and we absolutely cannot wait to see you here in Adelaide next Sunday. Or this Sunday coming, I should say. You'll be boarding a plane in the next 48 hours and making your way over here. So we can't wait to see you over here and see you again on the AWE table.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Yeah, I can't wait to catch up with you guys and the rest of my friends. Like I said, man, I love holding hands with my friends.
Well, holding hands will happen this Sunday there is still a final opportunity to get yourself registered if you want to be on the table against this man. If you feel like you're half a chance of walking away with either the $5,000 cash prize or the $2,500 cash prize at the Last Man Standing event, I think there is just but 24 hours left. You can jump onto the AWE website, get yourself registered, pay your small fee, and you too can be in the running to win. But you will have to beat the man on screen right now. Our very, very special guest for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, Maateiwarangi, the Beast, Heta-Morris. Thank you so much for joining us again, my friend, and we absolutely can't wait to see you here and on the table once again this Sunday.
Yes, guys. Thank you for having me and can't wait to catch up.
Awesome. God bless. Thank you.